For my 17th Godzilla dissection, I'm going to go with Godzilla Final Wars. Oh boy, this film was the 50th anniversary of Godzilla, came out in 2004, and it was the final nail in the coffin before Godzilla took another decade long rest. He was resurrected by the American film industry, of all things, with Godzilla 2014. And this Godzilla movie is one of those ones that people either love it or hate it. And to me, I always felt like I was in the middle ground, but the thing is, the problem with trying to be in the middle ground with this movie is that even if you even if you want to like it and give it a chance, it's just like the thing that pisses me off in the movie is not so much the movie itself, but what they could have done with the budget and story writing that they had. They had an opportunity to make Godzilla really freaking epic. You know, if you don't know, this Godzilla movie is the I think other than the 2014 film, this is probably well. Let's put it this way: it's the longest Japanese Godzilla movie as far as runtime. You know, so it's like 2 hours 5 minutes. It had the biggest budget of all the Godzilla movies up until that point, as far as Japanese wise, it probably still does. It had the biggest monster lineup. I mean, there was so much going for it that you would think it would just be this great big epic thing. When you watch it, it's just you're just kind of like, oh, that was okay. Well, it's the 50th anniversary. You know, this is the finale to a series that's been going on for 50 years. It should have been. You should have leave the theater just like, wow, instead of thinking that was okay. And that's the problem with the movie, especially when you had movies like GMK and Tokyo Express went before this one, and those movies, you by the time you got to watch them, it's like, wow, makes you feel great to be a Godzilla fan. You know, you just feel good. I was like, that was great. You know, what a great serving of Godzilla. But this is just like, it's just not the same. It's just like, what the fuck? I mean, that's the thing. When I saw this movie, because long before I made a history of the movie, I mean, read about this movie long before I actually saw it, because, you know, for a while I was a kid, I didn't know how to get these movies, and finally I started buying my own movies and building up my own collection. And the weird thing is, you know, every time I looked this movie up online, looked up pictures and stuff, it looked dark and interesting, and monsters had an interesting look to them. And it seemed like it was going to be this great big thing, and I finally watched it, I was like, that's not what I expected at all. Because it just does a lot of things wrong. Uh, I've covered this movie a lot, my Godzilla-thon. I even did that Godzilla Final Wars rant a little while ago. And yeah, so I'm not going to try and make this, I don't want this to be an hour-long discussion. It should go on for no longer than the usual 20 minutes, 30 minutes at best. But so let me just delve right into this and just what it means to me and just why it is the way it is. Uh, we all know it was directed by Ryu Kitamaru, produced by Shogo Tomiyama, who was basically, you know, the next Tomoyuki Tanaka of the Godzilla franchise. So he'd been the producer for all the Millennium series and a lot of the Heisei ones as well. You know, and the story was written by a number of writers, including Wataru Mamura and Isao Kariyama. To me, I think the story is actually pretty good, although there's some things that would have changed. I think the story itself is actually pretty solid, but although, like I said, I would change a lot of things about it. But overall, I think the premise was very interesting, and the premise is pretty simple. It's simply a redo of Final Wars. I mean, of Destroy All Monsters, which is one of the greatest movies ever, in my opinion. So therefore, trying to redo it again in the modern era would have been great. If only they had stuck to the plan, though, and kept a lot of things as similar as they should have been, instead of diverging so much. As far as the actors, I mean, I think they made all right choices. I mean, including a lot of the Toho veterans was a great. They had Akira Takarade, Kenji Sahara, Koi Mizuno, and those are some of the most interesting characters in the movie, honestly speaking. Very freaking great. They even had the guy, I'm sorry for his name, General Aso from the Heisei era. They even had him in here, so, you know, I was expecting a whole lot more from them. The problem is they were written in a way that they couldn't do much. Instead, the movie mostly focuses on the M organization soldiers and this scientist chick who's super hot. Ozaki is the main character's name. Of course, he has a Goku and Vegeta relationship with another mutant named Kazama. I mean, sometimes it's even hard. I don't know where to begin with this one. There's so much stuff, but like I said, I don't want this review to go on any longer than than it should have to. So let's just delve right into the meat. Start with something simple. The monsters. What do I think about them? Uh, for this movie, this review, I'm not going to talk about how every single monster in here looks like a humanoid because that's just the style it was done in, which normally I would not like the fact that Godzilla is so slim in this one. But you know what? It's the style it was going for, so I can appreciate that. And like I was saying, the Final Wars Godzilla looks pretty good to me. It has very few bad angles, and it looks and sounds freaking fantastic. It's not my favorite Millennium design for Godzilla, but it's still a really good one. I actually like this one a little more than Final Wars. I mean, not Final Wars. It's a Godzilla 2000 design, honestly. I think Godzilla 2000 is a bad design, but I just like this one more just for my own personal reasons. I know, I just like this one just a little bit more. But Godzilla is great in this. Well, I'll talk more about his screen time when I think about that later on, but Godzilla looks and represents is fantastic in this movie. Some of the other monsters in here, there's so many of them. Rodan looks great. He's one of the ones that look really freaking great in this movie. I love that. The color, he is definitely the color of like Fire Rodan, but he looks a lot like the 1956 Rodan, so I can dig that. And even when they use CGI for him, it looks pretty good. So yeah, one of the monsters they did really well. Manda, on paper he looks good, but to me there's only one good shot of Manda, and that was where he's gripping around the sub, and you see the actual marionette. He will always have to wrap around the Katango, I should say. I mean, the fact that they used CGI for Katango, to me, it was not a good decision to me. I mean, why? It'd been much better, more epic to have him somebody just wrap around the Tango as a marionette like they would have done in the old school days. Newer is not always better. The CGI was like okay in certain shots, but once he started glowing, I guess from the heat of the underwater volcano, he looked kind of like crap. But yeah, I mean, he's killed off right in the beginning, so it should be my main focus. But yeah, it was sad to see Manda portrayed that way. Oh, sorry about that. It's just a plate of food. Other monsters in here that I like. I love how Angus looks. I know some people don't like this version, but I love this version of Angus. He looks pretty freaking good. Other monsters, Zilla is in here. Zilla looks like Zilla, but and the CGI is like okay. But for the most part, he looks cool, I suppose, for being Zilla. King Caesar. Once again, I promise I won't do this, but I'm gonna do it anyways. He's too slim. It doesn't look right, and I fucking hate his eyes. In the original movie, you could get away with it a lot better because he had those crystal ruby red eyes, which looked pretty great. They added something to his character, and they were actually useful in combat. They meant something. However, King Caesar here has normal eyes, and makes it look like shit. Honestly. I mean, King Caesar looked as good as he could, except for the eyes. They really fucked it up. Kamakurus and Kumanga look great in this movie. They were some of the best represented monsters. They're marionettes, but they also add CGI in so they can move a little more energetically, and it looks fantastic. Maybe like them a whole lot more than I used to. Let me see. I know I'm probably missing still a lot of monsters. Let me think about this. Ebra, even though Ebra does look a lot like Legion from Gamma 3 in the 90s, Ebra still looked great, although, well, I'm not going to get into that. I'll get to that later. Hedera, who was barely in the fucking movie. Hedera looked great. I would love to see the suit in action, but of course we didn't get that. They brought back Minya from the show era, which is a fucking horrible decision. Horrible, horrible, horrible decision. He looks a little more like Godzilla, but it still sounds like shit. Still looks like shit. I mean, to me, there's only one true infant Godzilla, and that was Baby Godzilla / Godzilla Jr. from the Heisei era. They keep trying to bring back this Minya fucker, and it just pisses me off. Just why? Why? Gigan looks fucking fantastic. I'm pretty sure I've said this a number of times. I love the Final Wars Gigan. He was great. I'm glad he got more screen time than a lot of the other monsters in the movie because I'm a Gigan fan and he looks so good here. He sounds good. I'm glad they updated his abilities too. They really made him interesting. And yeah, before I keep gushing into that, then go to Mothra. Mothra looks just like her shit in 2003, so she looks pretty good. Although they used a little more CGI for her than I would have liked. So yeah, some shots of her I don't like; they're too stiff looking, but overall, Mothra looks great. As for Monster X slash Kaiser Ghidorah, Monster X is a pretty good looking monster. The problem is, like I said before, I'm just screw it. He's too humanoid looking, so to me, he would never really work in the real. Like, I hate to say that real, but how do I say this? I mean, it's just too humanoid looking. I mean, it needed to be just a little more animalistic in some way, shape, or form. But like I said, that's not what the director wanted, so that's what we got. And then Kaiser Ghidorah to me was hit and miss, but mostly a lot of miss, and they really fucked up Ghidorah. Although, as people have told me, this is simply Monster X 2, so technically it's not even supposed to be Ghidorah. It is an old place, even the internet treats it as a whole separate entity, which I guess is fine. But the problem is, we all know it was trying to emulate King Ghidorah, but they got so much bullshit wrong. Instead of having the epic golden look, it looks like fucking. It's like, what is it? I guess it's like really dark yellow. Basically a mustard color with like black stripes. But the thing is, this when scene where Kaiser Ghidorah appears and fights it's already dark as shit because it's in a ruined city and stuff. There's no light, so adding that on to having that backdrop to an already monster that's colored dark just makes it look like shit. And then another problem was the fact that for some fucking reason the wings, the most important thing on any Ghidorah looking monster, has got to be the wings, and they completely fucked them up. They're super small and pointless. He can't even fucking fly. The fuck? That's the whole point of any Ghidorah incarnation. And don't tell me they couldn't have done it with practical effects. Yes, the fuck they could have. We know that because Rebirth of Mothra. Rebirth of Mothra featured Des Ghidorah, also known as Death Ghidorah, which is once again another quadruped Ghidorah-looking monster who walked on all fours, but he had fucking wings and he could fly around with them. So the fact that they made this monstrosity and not be able to fly around was just fucking stupid. Just fucking retarded. That was a horrible decision. The tails look fine, I suppose, though they're not quite the same. And then, of course, Kaiser Ghidorah's roar, I don't really like it. I would have preferred the classic roar, or at least a GMK type roar for Ghidorah, but instead they went with this screech that sounded obnoxious and annoying. I mean, the only thing put it this way, the only thing I really liked about Kaiser Ghidorah is the fact that he has his little beams, the gravity beams, which now actually have something to do with gravity. They actually lift up Godzilla and toss him around. So at least the fight was kind of entertaining. The problem is it could have been so much better if he actually flew around like King Ghidorah always does and hits from above, like he's supposed to do. But yeah, I don't know why they went with that design. It was awful. Kaiser was one of the worst looking monsters in the freaking movie to me. Probably is. So going to some of the other issues with the movie. Where do I begin? Kitamaro's directing style was definitely not right for the Godzilla franchise. I just meant to mean the way the comedy was delivered, the way